Hey Amber, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming onto the show. I really do appreciate it. I know you're extremely busy, and you were just saying off air that you've just come back from Texas. So tell us about that. What were you doing in Texas?
Yes, so if you see my recent Instagram post
Yes.
at Fighter Fest
Come on.
2 for AEW in Dallas, Texas, you've seen my recent, and maybe I think almost 5,000 people in attendance that were there. So I flew back and I'm doing a podcast with you, who is now 12 hours ahead of time from me.
That's right. In the future, yes. Yeah. And speaking of that, have you been to places like Australia and Shanghai? Have you done some traveling?
Oh my gosh, no. So before the pandemic, I have wrestled in London, South Africa, in Johannesburg, and in Cape Town. And then I also wrestled in Panama. But then
Right.
pandemic stopped me from going back. But on my bucket list is most definitely like Japan, China. I have never been to Australia, but that would probably just be a vacation. I
Yeah,
don't know, like
definitely a vacation.
I know there's
Yeah,
some
yeah, yeah.
wrestling there, so that'd be like cool.
This,
Oh yeah,
oh no, it's
met so many cultures.
wrestling. Like we get the WWE to come
Yeah,
down. For in Australia, I've seen SmackDown here in Shanghai. So yeah, it's very popular all over the world. So
well,
Amber, when you
obviously,
get
yeah. And we know like Billy Kay, Peyton Royce were the Australian girls that came to WWE, came to America, which is amazing. But I mean, how many independent promotions do you guys have there?
Oh yeah, they have little promotions. All around Australia. They're not
So like
big.
America, like a lot of many ones.
Yeah, they have the indie
Oh,
ones down there. But yeah, and when SmackDown or Raw comes to Australia, they have like the tryouts. For the WWE. So um, Rhea Ripley's from South Australia, so
yeah.
she's representing. So she had the
Yes,
belt. Now it's so
exactly.
she's doing well for herself. So yeah, we've got a few Australian
She was
wrestlers.
on a local Orlando, Florida radio station that I was doing for a few years as well. So it means
Right.
very all close together, a lot of everything.
Excellent. Well, more than welcome to come down here and see some koalas and kangaroos. But Amber, we're not here to talk about Australia.
I
We're,
know,
we're
I turned the conversation to you, didn't I?
here, we're here to talk about you. So, firstly, I want to ask, recent times, the pandemic, it's affected everybody. So I want to ask you, how are you and your family? How have you adjusted in this period? And what did you have to cancel? Was it tough times for you as well?
Yes, of course. Like I said, in 2019, I wrestled in London, South Africa, Johannesburg, and Cape Town. I wrestled in Panama. I had plans to go back to South Africa, back to Panama, back to London, and then the pandemic hit. I mean, I also wrestled for WWE NXT in 2019. So things were really going good. I think everybody's life was going good and picking up, right?
Yes.
So it was difficult. The shutdown was a little hard. Working out was not. That was still like
Right.
you could figure that out. It was not bad.
Yes.
And honestly, the shutdown for like 2 weeks. The 2 weeks was like not bad. I was like, that's a little vacation, hang out, work out. Like it's a nice little break. I was like, and I'll take this time to meditate,
Right.
reset, regroup, maybe take some time off social media, because I do believe the whole like unplug, reset things with life as well. But I got through it, and I'll tell you how I got through it. My Nova heads, all my fans out there, like supporting me, getting geared up with 8x10s and grease rags and t-shirts and podcasts. They got me through it. They motivated me, and I'm so grateful. And I just want to thank all my Nova heads out there. Nova World Order, baby. So
Come on.
I
Absolutely.
did get 2020, as you can see, and things are picking back up again. Yeah. And I just hope the best for everybody else that in the world that everything's picking back up.
Yeah, and I see like with AEW and WWE that they've started bringing the fans back to the shows now. It's fantastic. An empty stadium. The wrestlers are trying so hard. Did you have matches in this time where there was no one in the stadium, and what was that like?
Yeah. I did have matches where there's no crowd, just a camera.
Yeah.
And the intensity is not quite there, but
yeah,
you're still like it feels more like practice and training than it does like real like go at it for the win. So like we're in there and we're like going through it and there's no crowd. It's like I feel like I'm more like just training for those times to come back when the crowd's there. But yeah, and then Aura had matches where there was not many people there. There's like 30 people, 50 people, 100 people, like not that many.
Right.
Oh, that's okay. And even if it was just a few people, I gave it my all.
That's it, 100%. And that was the thing, like, but it was a whole new thing, and that could be something in the future where they have all the screens and, so yeah, very, very interesting times. But, I'm glad that it's getting back. And like with the US, tell us about that, like, and your family, how are they doing? Are they staying safe, in this time?
Yes. My family are all healthy and safe. Thank you for asking. How are yours?
Yeah, doing okay. Yeah, Australia's, I think it's gone back into lockdown now, which is a shame. They're in their winter, so, but yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. That's just one or two people that ruin it for everybody. But they're just keeping it safe and precaution, and we'll be right. I can't wait to get back there. But yeah, let's go back now into your life. That's what it's all about. Talk about your story. So I do believe that you were born in Hilton Heads Island in South Carolina. Is this correct?
No, it is not.
My God.
I'll tell you what. I was born in Hackettstown, New Jersey. My parents are from New Jersey. I was raised in New Jersey. But I grew up most of my life in Beaufort, Hilton Head, South Carolina. So I just say that's where I'm from.
Right.
I'm really Jersey. I'm a Jersey girl, mom and dad Jersey, but I didn't grow up in Jersey. So I claimed South Carolina, and then now I've been in Orlando for the last 6 years.
Right. So tell us a bit more about New Jersey. I don't know. I've never been there before. I've been to New York and Washington, Philadelphia, but never New Jersey. So tell us a little bit about growing up there in New Jersey for the Australian listeners.
So my mom and dad were born in Jersey, grew up their whole lives there. My dad restored classic cars. I'm the daughter of a mechanic, hence the fact that when I step in a ring, I'm always to get the grease rag.
Come on.
The girls up. That's right. So I lived very few years, maybe till I was around 6, 5. Just my first few years in Jersey, and my siblings. Then we hopped around, and then we got to South Carolina, Hilton Head near Savannah, Georgia. Grew up there most of my life, and now I've been in Orlando for the last 6 years. But growing up in Hilton Head was amazing. Low country life, not major cities. The only big major cities nearby was Savannah, Georgia, or Charleston, South Carolina, which are not the biggest cities, but it was beautiful. Right near the ocean, right near the coast, low country. There's a marine base, lots of golf courses, and a lot of medical. So that was your job opportunities. And I just help people, and I really loved helping people. So that's how I became an EMT.
That's what I have written down here. I was going to talk about it a little bit later. but were your mother and father, were they in the sort of entertainment, like wrestling, just big fans?
No. So
that was a mechanic.
Mom never watched it or really cared much for it.
Right.
But she respected that my dad watched it, and she let him, she I wouldn't say let him, but my mom's always been a wonderful woman, and she didn't watch it. She'd go lay in bed and watch Friends or Grey's Anatomy or something, whatever she's watching, right? And Dad's watching wrestling in the other room. Right. He'll get wrestling on in the living room, and I'm a daddy's girl, so I'd always be watching wrestling. Even though, don't get me wrong, I love Grey's Anatomy and Friends. But, so growing up, my siblings, they would go to the events with us as well, but they weren't into it as much as me. So, my parents.
How many siblings did you have? Is it three sisters?
Four.
Four sisters.
And I'm 85.
Right.
So I have an older sister, an older brother. I'm the middle child, and then I have two younger twin identical sisters. They're identical, not me.
And so, you were saying just then that they didn't really sort of pursue the wrestling. They enjoyed watching it, but
no, like they went to live events and they'd enjoy it. They didn't watch it weekly or care to keep up with stories like me and my dad were into it. And we
right.
Out, like, that's how we bonded and hung out and drank a beer and like after, like, in high school I just hang out and watch it with my dad. And so older sister, older brother. I'm the middle child, so I'm the troublemaker, of course. Younger twin sisters. So we went to events. My mom and dad have always been super supportive. My mom, she just wasn't very into wrestling. My dad was. My dad got me into classic cars and wrestling, and that's where I'm at now.
Look at you now. Yeah. Must be a very proud dad.
I think he is.
Yes. And you're saying you're going to the event. Can you remember the first event, like the first wrestling event that you went to?
You know what? I saw like Rey Mysterio, Batista, but I saw, I grew up watching a lot of WCW guys.
Right.
Booker T, Goldberg. I grew up watching Medusa and Luna Vachon and Chyna, Eddie Guerrero. Not that I got to see all these guys live.
Right. Yeah.
But the few events I did go to was in Charleston, Savannah. We went to a couple here and there. I was probably like 10 years old, something like that. Yeah, 9, something like that. And
I did see on your Instagram that you had a picture with Sting as well. So now you're starting to sort of meet these heroes that you saw live on TV, right?
It's pretty great, over the course of my wrestling career, like last 5 years, I've gotten to meet some of these people and work with them as a coworker, and I was a fan and learn from them, and lots of mentors. Yes. Great mentors like Scott Hall, Larry Smith, Hector Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero, like just great mentors. And these men, when I speak to them, they're so wise. Like I talk to them, it's like they talk to you like a family member, like an uncle would. They really want to help guide you. It means a lot, and you can tell when someone wants to help and someone doesn't.
Sorry, Amber. When they've worked in the 80s and 90s and in wrestling, pro wrestling, it's like no money, they were huge stars, but just no money, and it's a bit more intense.
So exactly like that. I came from no money, dad's a mechanic raising 5 kids. Mom worked at Blockbuster. I don't even think people know what Blockbuster is anymore.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Things like that. And it's, so.
and now for you, growing up, being a fan of wrestling, you went on to university. Did you go on to university?
Yeah, like I said, my career is an EMT. I went to college for that. I trained at many wrestling schools, and I learned from many different styles and talents. So then I took a little bit of every talent that I liked and then incorporated it into what fits me and created my own style for Amber Nova.
How old were you when you first sort of had the idea of, and who was sort of pushing for it? Was your dad sort of, hey, I think I should start doing wrestling? Was it your dad or was it you? Or combination?
No one.
No one.
No, it was a dream that was always in the back of my head. Like, gosh, I wish I could be like these women and I could do these things, right? But I thought it could never happen for someone like me, size of China. I don't look like Lita or Trish Stratus or the women that I seen growing up. I was like, I can't. So it's always like something to watch, but something I never thought I could actually get into. And the older I got, when I was an EMT, I was like, wow, I see these women in the WWE Performance Center here in Orlando, Florida, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Carmella, Becky, girls, these women coming up, changing the game, main eventing, showing the respect for women's wrestling. And I was like, oh, wow, well, these women are my age, my size. I could probably go train and do this. And if it doesn't work out, I'll go right back to helping people the rest of my life and being EMT.
You had something to sort of fall back on if it didn't work out.
Correct.
Yeah, right. Excellent. So when was this? When did you decide? How old were you when you decided to sort of do this? And who sort of helped you out at the start? Of becoming like a wrestler.
No one. It was just me.
Yeah, just you again. I love this. I love these stories.
22. I'm 22 back in South Carolina as an EMT, and I looked at the Performance Center. I looked up Orlando, Florida. I looked up wrestling schools in Florida. I looked up all these young women, like I just mentioned, coming up now in this time. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to move to Florida, drop everything, learn how to wrestle, and go for it. If it doesn't work out, I'll go back to being an EMT and helping people. But I would work on the ambulance and just daydream about, like, I want to model, I want to wrestle, I want to pursue the world, I want to break. I have a story to tell. My biggest thing was, in pro wrestling, there's always a story and there's a character. Well, I have a story and a character to tell. I'm the daughter of a mechanic. I'm an EMT. I'm a certified bartender. I'm a Jill jack of all trades, and I want to break the stigma with women and cars. Why is it always a guy in auto parts commercials? Why not?
That's right.
Who kicks ass, right? So that's when I was like, I'm going to just give it my all. I'm going to go for this. So I left my career job as an EMT, my friends, my family back home, and moved to Orlando, Florida, joined some wrestling schools, hopped around, learned from as many people as I could. Now I'm here talking to you.
Come on. And tell us some of the trainers that you had. I've got here Chasen. Rance. Yes. My terrible name.
Yes, I joined their school when I first moved to Orlando. Yeah. I joined that school, and then I learned from many other people in my journey, like Lince Dorado, Hector, like I mentioned, Matt Sydal, Ivelisse, Saraya Knight. I've gotten to learn from so many people and their different talents, and then incorporate it into my own style.
Right. What did your parents think of this? Because, a lot of parents are like, you got to stick to your 9-to-5 job and, don't do anything silly. You're going to have no money. And what did your parents think of this?
Oh, they didn't think anything like that.
Oh, really? Go for it.
I know how driven I am, and anything I've ever said that I'm going to do, I always go through and do it. My parents always know, they've always said, Amber, you have so much drive and determination, and you care about people, and you always go for it. My dad was like, well, you better do it now. You're only getting older. He's like, you better do it now while you're young. Like, don't wait 10 more years to do it, or you better do it now. So my dad was like, all for it, go for it, right? And then my mom, she was just like, don't get hurt. But they still are very supportive. So
speaking of that, what your mum said, with not getting hurt and injuries, have you had any sort of injuries, like minor injuries, major injuries in your career so far?
Yes, I've fractured a toe slightly that I just kept hidden because no big deal, I'll work with it. I've gotten really bad muscle sprains. It's really painful. A lot of people don't know how painful wrestling can be and is after so many hits on the mat and bumps, and it's like the intake that Me, as a former EMT, literally your body goes through mini car crashes.
Yeah.
Your neck, spine, your back, you're going through little like mini car crashes with the pain that you actually go through. You really do. And your body can only go through so many mini car crashes until there might be something significant. So luckily I have been pretty well with no serious injuries. I'm going to go knock on wood, the wall, whatever I can reach. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of that as well, like, I know it's sort of like for a casual fan or for someone who doesn't watch it, you know, they go, oh, that the wrestling, that's fake. So, but I always say to them that the injuries are not fake, right? So, what do you say to someone that says, oh, you know, wrestling's fake? You know, why are you doing this as a profession?
Well, don't use the F word because it's really offensive.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are athletic entertainers.
Mm.
We put our bodies on the line, and I'd love to see people get in this ring and go, okay, go. I just ain't fake. Tell me
exactly.
It ain't real. Tell me it's fake. Tell me like you didn't feel that. You'll feel it. You'll feel it the next day, the day after. Depends what you do, how much you do, how many matches you do in a week, how many shows. You know, I'm working on a few shows. I have 2 shows this weekend. I'm wrestling in Orlando Saturday night. Then Sunday morning I catch a flight to San Antonio and I wrestle Sunday night versus the NWA Women's Champion currently. So
come on.
Yeah, my schedule is busy. And for people that just don't respect professional wrestling, well, you go to plays, you go to movie theaters, you watch action movies, right? Well, you're going to a live action entertainment like movie. Yeah. And not everything we do in that ring do we ever know is going to happen. Like, okay, I see a drop kick coming, boom. But do I see this coming? Do I see that coming? No, I don't know what's going to happen. You know, it's so much more than what people actually think and assume. And it's easy to sit on the sidelines and judge and think you know what you're talking about, but until you get in there, you have no idea. So,
I think it's like a lot of entertainment industry, like music and sport, all different sports, you know, they can criticize till the cows come home, but at the end of the day, if you don't go up there and do it yourself and go, oh, you know what, this is not as easy as I thought it was a bit, you know, these guys are
not at all.
Yeah, and definitely the injuries as well. I mean, you know, some of the wrestlers, you know, going in there and, you know, their bodies are getting hammered all the time. So I have a total respect for it. I've watched wrestling. I'm the same as you. I used to watch wrestling when I was a little kid. Yeah. You know, The Rock and Stone Cold and come on, Undertaker. So, and I always remember that Undertaker where he threw Mankind off the top of the steel cage. Holy dooly. So you're telling me that's fake? You know, I'll agree to disagree with you. All right, so you went down to Florida. You started training. So your first independent show, how did that all come about, and how did you feel, you know, stepping into the ring for the first time?
I was nervous. You know, I'm up against a lot of these veteran women that sometimes they were nice, sometimes they were not.
Right. You're the rookie, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't want to even. So I'm a big person over when it comes to quality over quantity, big time. Like I was like, I'd rather there be, you know, 5 really good matches out there for me than 50 terrible ones. So I was like, they had push me out the door, and I'm like, no, I'm not ready. No. Like they just pushed me out the door. Like, you're ready. Go do your first match. You are so prepared. And I was like, I'm not ready. And like, you're prepared, girl. You can do this. And I'm like, veteran girls. And like I said, I'm a big person when it comes to quality over quantity. Yes. I'd much rather have a few good matches out there of me than a ton of bad ones. And I'm like, they're like, you're prepared. You're more than prepared. You go. And I'm like, no. They like have to push me out the door pretty much. I'm like, fine, I'll do it. I mean, obviously not in that exact way. I was ready for the event, but and And then the more I got to, I wrestled girls like Thea Trinidad, who's, Zelina Vega.
Right.
I've wrestled Sienna. I've wrestled now, Allie, Rosemary, Sue Young, Taya Valkyrie, who's now Frankie Monet on NXT. I've wrestled so many great women that they treated me really good.
Well, now I wanted to. Sorry, Amber. I just wanted to ask.
No, you're fine. We're just chatting. But yeah, all those women I named, incredible. They treated me so good. And I had to learn from these veterans. So, my first few matches, I had some good experience against some really good women.
Now, skipping ahead, I was going to talk about it a little bit later, but I just watched the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and I do believe that your first NXT match is with Nikki Cross.
Yes.
So how does that make you feel that she's now the women's WWE champion?
I am so happy for her. I'm so happy that I was a part of her journey.
Yeah.
My match with her was my first singles match in NXT.
Which
was her last match before the main roster.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy for her. She deserves it. She's wrestled and worked her ass off, coming from another country, everything. Yes. I'm really happy. I'm very happy for her. She deserves it.
Yeah. It was so cool how she won it too. She's got a new gimmick, and you can just tell it's one of these feel-good moments that she's done it the hard way, doing the independence, coming from different, like you said.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
All the people. I don't know if you've kept up with Nikki's social media, but Nikki's social media, there's just filled with drawings and artwork and all these little kids that are so inspired. There's this picture of her holding the belt up and this little girl's face that looks almost like a mini her. And it's just that's what it's about. It's about moments. It's about inspiring people so that one day they don't feel like they can't achieve something like maybe I felt when I was younger, and they actually can.
Yes. And it just with the modern day, with the social media, it just feels like you're so much closer to the wrestlers, and it's great to see that you've got all your fans on social media and you can interact with them. And if that would have happened a long time ago, it would have been so much better. You've been able to, just a message back or a little heart on Instagram, from your favorite wrestler. Now it's oh my God, that's so cool. It makes their day. So. You guys are doing such a great job, with your fans. It's really cool. So, you're going through the independent scene, learning your trade. I always wanted to know, how do you sort of pick your theme music, and how do you pick your finishing moves? Is it something that you do in training, or you wanted to do as well? How does it all work? Your finishing move, it's important for wrestlers, right?
Absolutely. So my character, me, and my identity is the same person in and out of the ring. I would drive a '73 Chevy Nova back in South Carolina as an EMT, and people would say, "Oh, you're the Nova girl. You're Nova, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." So when I came to Orlando as a pro wrestler, it was easy to identify my character in the ring as who I am as a character, as a person, in and out of the ring. I'm Nova girl. I'm Amber Nova. I drive a '73 Chevy Nova. I'm a all-American muscle mechanic. I'm gonna tune you up, right? I'm gonna tune you up in and out of the ring, and I'm here to make a name for myself. So I feel like a lot of people struggle with that when it comes to character, but yes, identifying yourself in the ring, character, doing these things, coming up with moves. Okay, my Nova driver, my wheelbarrow stunner. Yeah, Nova driver. I'm all about Nova drive. I'm all about the drive and everything. I'm all about giving somebody a tune-up. My head scissors turnbuckle smash that you saw me give Nikki Cross in my very first NXT match. A lot of my moves are based around my identity. So, I feel like people that struggle, that don't know who they are before, it's harder for them when they get in the business. And I can see why.
Yeah. And one thing I wanted to ask, I see all your photos now, and you're so fit and healthy. Yeah, that's just fine. But for some women and for some girls, they can sort of struggle a little bit, like with their weight. They can eat a little small chocolate and boom, they get big. So for you, how do you sort of keep consistently? You're always on the road. How are you keeping in shape? How are you sort of keeping your diet, consistent?
I want to say that I know since a kid, I've always had a very healthy diet. I've always ate
Right.
very healthy, lots of vegetables, lots of fruits, healthy protein, chicken,
Yeah.
turkey, fish, your leanest type of protein. So like no red meat, no pork, no beef, no, like that stuff's not a healthy protein. It's more fat. It's not that good for you. So
Yeah.
chicken, turkey, fish, lean, healthy proteins with natural carbs like broccoli and fruits and veggies, protein shakes. So my diet's always been very good. And then when I was an EMT, I always had that drive inside of me, that Nova drive, where I would, when I got off shift or even when I was on shift, I would do 300-400 crunches a day,
Wow.
leg raises, sitting on the edge of a bed, the edge of a bench, then the edge of a chair. I would just find some platform to lean against, sit against, and I would do leg raises, and I'd try and knock out 300-400 a day. I'd start with 50, then 100, 150, and I'd do them in like sets. So workouts, I've always been motivated. I don't get me wrong though, I'm an Italian woman. Irish and Italian. I love pizza, I love pasta, I love fried chicken. Southern girl, I love carbs, and I will eat whatever I want when I want. But I put that work in. I do hot yoga at Orlando Power Yoga, which honestly I recommend to everybody. Hot yoga is amazing. I mean, at first, if your body's not used to it, it's a lot of sweat. You got to control your breathing. You feel like you're going to pass out, which is a good time to me. I don't know. I'm a wrestler, right? I like to do that in the ring for a living.
Yes.
But, other people might not. But, those are just other workouts and other things to, like, change it up. So, and I know it also all depends on genes.
Yeah.
My mother, had 5 kids, and she weighed about 115 pounds her whole life. However, my struggle is not keeping weight off. My struggle is always keeping muscle on. So I have to work out and eat that protein and dial it up to keep my muscle. And so everyone has their struggles. It's just how much drive and determination you put into it.
Yeah. And how does that, how do you sort of keep that like on the road as well? Like you still, with interviews, doing podcast interviews and,
I find the time and I get it in.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
I do my best.
Yeah, right. So, and for your song as well, how did you pick your intro song, your theme song?
So my theme song originally was Machine Head by Bush.
Come on.
I absolutely love Gavin Rossdale. So I've met him in concert a few times. I've wrestled locally in Orlando, where I first met him at an Earth Day birthday event. I've seen Bush in concert at other places. They're one of my favorite bands to see. And Machine Head is just so fitting with, hey, what do you know? the right here. So, I'm going to pull out the big red. It off. It's a nice gift from a recent a fan of mine.
That's
pretty
so
great.
Cool.
Big my own now. So, so my theme song, I guess I just picked that because Machine Head was always a very driven song for me. Whenever I listened to it, just like got me going, and I think about cars and engines and just everything about the machine. So, due to copyright reasons, though, I've changed my song for different promotions like Shine Wrestling, FEW, anything on YouTube where it needs to be non-copyrighted. And it's a non-copyrighted version of AC/DC Shook Me All Night Long.
Oh, yes, I did hear that. Yes.
Yeah.
Got the bop going. Yeah, that's a good one as well. Come on. That's got to get you going as well.
I air guitar this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kill the fast machine. Come on. So, and then, 2000. Let's jump ahead a little bit now. It says here in 2017, you joined Impact Wrestling. So this is a big step for you, Amber. Like, how did this all come about? And were there like scouts sort of following you around, or how did this all come about?
it all came about from, the wrestling school I joined, like we talked about before, like when I moved to Orlando, Florida, people knowing people. I had good opportunity, and Impact Wrestling was doing their TV tapings right here at Universal in Orlando, and it was really nice. On their website, they said, hey, Amber Nova's new, but she's going up against very experienced veteran girls, and she can obviously hang in the ring, and that's why we keep bringing her back. So I got really good experience. Like I said, my first TV match against Allie, who's in AEW, where I've been working recently, as you might have seen.
Yes. Excellent. And what did that sort of give you, Impact Wrestling? Was it like NXT where they had like veterans in there, giving you advice and, sort of helping you develop your character a bit more?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I named off all the girls earlier. I got to learn from all these really experienced girls. Gail Kim helped agent me and coach me, and I grew up watching Gail Kim. Same as NXT, I got to learn from Sarah Del Rey, Serena, amazing women there. So it's been a really good journey. I'm blessed for the time that I came up in. And the thing is when they say it's all about timing, some people, even me, I used to think, oh, it's not really all about timing. It really is, though. Yeah. Timing has a huge part in coming up, and someone gets injured, people retire, people start a new family, or expand their family, or whatever it is, they go away or come back. So timing is a huge issue with life and in this business for sure. So I'm blessed with the time I came up with. I have had good opportunity, and currently I'm having good opportunities still. So
come on. And do you have a standout match with Impact Wrestling? One that's similar, like they go, wow. You want to go back on YouTube and sort of, oh, you know what? I want to watch this one. This one was cool.
Like I said, I wrestled Taya Valkyrie, who's now Frankie Monet in NXT. I've wrestled Sienna, Rosemary, Sue Young. I'm definitely gonna say probably Allie. Like I said, she was my first first TV match. And now I'm working with AEW. She's there. I do want to say Allie was, I think one of my favorites. Maybe it just meant more because it was my first.
Okay, that sounds awesome. I'm gonna have to check that one out. I don't think I've seen that. I saw the Nikki Cross one, but yeah. So, and then 1 year later, NXT. How did this come about? And I did read that you got to meet Stephanie and Triple H. Did you get to meet Mr. McMahon?
I've seen Vince. I have never actually, I think, had a good sit-down conversation.
Right.
Also, to clarify, I have been an independent contractor. I was actually never signed to WWE, and I've never had a real tryout with WWE. I was paid per, and then going between different companies and other countries and other states and other promotions, and just hopping around as an independent contractor everywhere I went. So I was never actually signed, though.
Got you. But you did. I did read that you did get to meet Stephanie. Is that true? Stephanie?
Oh yes. And she is an inspiration. I have nothing but wonderful words. She's like, I don't know, she's like the aunt you'd always want, or maybe a mom, but I don't think she's old enough to be my mom, but maybe like my aunt. She's beautiful. She's amazing. She's an inspiration. She wanted to change women's wrestling, and she really has, and I thank her for that. And she's maybe gonna be my boss one day. Who knows? Or maybe with AEW, maybe I'll sign here or there. So we'll see.
Come on. She'd be a pretty good boss to work with, I think. So, and like she was like a big part of like the first all women pay-per-view, right? A couple of years ago.
Yes.
That's amazing to come from that. So, and now AEW. Tell us a little bit about this. I have TNT on here, so I get to watch it. Also on YouTube with the Dark as well. So again, tell us how this all come about.
AEW's been great. Like I said, I know a lot of great people, great trainers. I wrestle in Impact. I know people from Impact. I know
Yes.
both that are now in AEW, from Impact, from WWE, from everywhere. And, I wanted to wait till after the pandemic was really rough in 2020 to really start getting back into things. The crowd is back. It's amazing. So it's just a good opportunity.
Yes. And what matches? You said you're flying. So where are you? What are your next sort of matches for NXT? Sorry, NXT. Sorry, AEW.
Yeah. So you'll just have to stay tuned to see. I have been there quite often. Keep up with AEW's Dark Elevation, their YouTube channel, TNT, and you'll see when I'm posted.
Awesome. And do you have a standout match in AEW yet? I mean,
I
yes.
believe it's first their inaugural women's AEW Women's Champion Rio in Miami just 2 weeks ago. That was, my first singles match on Elevation. Before that, I had 2 tag matches. I had one singles match with Chris Statlander with her return match on TNT.
Yes.
But the match at Rio, I really enjoyed.
I heard Big Show give you a huge rap.
Talk card. We talk shop. I'm the mechanic, right?
Right. Right. And again, talking to Big Show. I mean, come on, he was huge. In WCW and WWE.
Yes.
Is he a nice guy? Is he a nice guy in person, or is he just sort of no?
No, he's a very good guy in person. I've gotten to talk shop, talk cars. Paul is a very good person, and I mean, there's so many good people at AEW. Yeah. They got a good crew, and I really love what they're doing at AEW. It's amazing, and I respect it so much, and I'm so happy to be a part of their team lately.
And tell us, let's get close to wrapping it up. What is the plan for Amber Nova for the future? Wrestling, but also outside of wrestling as well.
Yes. So, future plans for Amber Nova. I have so many ambitions in and outside of wrestling. I want to break the stigma with women in fast cars, muscle cars. I want to be in an Advanced Auto Parts, any type of auto parts commercial. Why does it always have to be a guy? Why not a woman who kicks ass in the ring? Like I said, I can tune these girls up in and out of the ring, and I'm looking to break this stigma. I'm looking to support and show women they can be anything they want. I'm a former EMT. I'm a certified bartender. I'm a pro wrestler. You can literally do so many things in your life. Why does it always have to be a guy in these auto parts commercials? I drive a 73 Chevy Nova every a daily car. I'm the daughter of a mechanic. And
you can tune it up. You can do an oil change, change the carburetor, right?
There you go. I can tune you up in and outside the ring. And I have many ambitions in and outside of that wrestling ring for women, breaking that stigma. In wrestling, they have commercials, they have sponsors, and I'm looking for to really incorporate all of that, wrestling and cars.
And is there plans to be a commentator, or to still be involved with wrestling? When you finish in the ring.
I haven't thought about retirement. No way, Jose. I mean, I'm just thinking about right now the future. Like I said, just car and making sure I break that stigma with women in classic cars. Giving these girls a tune-up if they need it with the biggest wrench I am. So, after wrestling, I mean, I'm sure there's more opportunity out there.
Yeah. And tell me, what would you say to an inspiring female wrestler that wants to, start in this? What would you say to someone like a young?
My advice to any of my Nova heads out there, it's all about drive and determination. What you put in, you'll get out. And this is, be realistic. Always be realistic. I left my career job as an EMT back home. My friends, my family, couldn't work 24-hour shifts at the same time as training. Just be realistic. save up, your finances, your job, your career, family, and health always come first. And honestly, if you really put in that drive, that passion, that determination, you absolutely can do this. You can do anything. So I just want to inspire everybody out there, women and men.
And just talking to you and hearing you talk as well, I can't wait to see more of your, you're talking like in the wrestling as well. Like that's very important, doing your, behind the scenes before the match, right?
I'm all ready. Like, just give me the mic, give me a camera, let's go. I'll call people out. I'll tune you up. I'll cut that promo. I'm so ready. Just
have you always been really? Have you always been confident as a promo, doing a promo, like even as like a teenager? Have you had always been confident to?
I get nervous. You get anxiety. You wonder at times, but like I said, it's just all about knowing who you are.
Yeah.
Knowing who you are and your character, and that really makes a difference.
All right, Amber, tell us about your social medias and anything that you want to promote before we go.
Yes, to all my Nova heads out there, you can get geared up with me at prowrestlingtees.com/AmberNova. I got a new t-shirt up. Follow me on my social media, AmberNova73, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you're not familiar with my matches, you can YouTube Amber Nova. Check me out. I have a channel. Matches are uploaded all the time. And I support you guys so much. And like I said, just keep that Nova drive, Nova World Order. Woohoo!
And Amber, make sure that when the pandemic happens, that you come to Australia. See some Nova heads in the land down under.
Yes, I cannot wait. I would love to go to Australia. It's on the bucket list.
Amber, thank you very much for your time. I know that you're an extremely busy person, true inspiration, and that's the reason why.
10:30 at night my time and 10:30 a.m. your time.
But yeah, that's why you've got so many fans, and you'll continue to get more fans in the future. All the best for the future. And when you win the women's championship, and then you're the number one star, come back on, and let's continue your story.
We will for sure.
All right, Amber, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Pleasure meeting you.